So this clip right now, I'm recording the day before the season 3 premiere, because as someone who was a big fan of the original series, and as someone who watched the first 2 seasons of Roswell, New Mexico on Netflix, this is the first time in 19 years that I'm watching an episode of Roswell live as it airs, and I am in my feelings about it. So if you want to hear about what that feels like, keep listening. Otherwise, I'm going to put the timestamp for the reaction right here. You can fast forward. So what does this feel like? So whether you are also someone who loved the original series, or you've watched it since then, or you've never seen the original series but you're just interested in this part of the fandom history of Roswell, New Mexico, this is how I'm feeling. The original Roswell premiered in 1999 when I was 13 years old. And it was my first fandom. It was the first piece of media, the first fandom that I loved, and I loved it. My wall was covered with pages from magazines, and my folders and notebooks for school covered in little cutout and printed pictures, but you get the picture. And this was the first fandom that I ever actively participated in. And we're talking this is the fan forum days, this is message boards, but it was so much fun. And Max and Liz were my first OTP, and it was as someone who has been a part of fandoms, has been a fangirl for 20 years, for me, it started with Roswell. So this is a very special show to me. But then when the new series premiered a few years ago, I just wasn't really interested for some reason. I had no animosity toward it, but I felt like it wasn't the same actors, it wasn't a continuation of the same story, so it felt like not my Roswell. And it is its own show, and that's a good thing, but it felt, I wasn't interested. But then it comes to spring 2020. I am at home, and season 1 of Roswell, New Mexico is on Netflix. So I was like, why not just give it a try? And so I watched the first episode, and I loved it. I was so pleasantly surprised at how much I loved it. So I watched all of season 1 within a few days. And then lucky for me, with timing, season 2 of Roswell, New Mexico was added to Netflix within 2 weeks later. So perfect timing. So I watched all of season 2 within another few days. I have those reaction videos on my channel, which I'll link the playlist. But watching Roswell, New Mexico, for me, as someone who loved the original series so dearly, the best way I can describe what it felt like was being able to watch the characters that I had fallen in love with when I was 13 be reincarnated, and then getting to fall in love with them all over again. And that was amazing, because it's such a common want in any type of fandom, to wish that you could watch it again for the first time, or read the book again for the first time, or listen to the album again for the first time. And that's kind of what being able to watch Roswell, New Mexico felt like as a fan of the original Roswell. And now, tomorrow, being able to watch an episode of Roswell live as it is airing on TV is really, really special, and I am really, really excited. It is Roswell premiere day for season 3. I am so excited. So I'm watching with my mom this evening. I got her into it earlier this year. She's all caught up, ready. Not as excited as I am, to be fair, but excited to watch. So, do you have any theories you want to throw out before we've got 20 minutes until the episode starts?
Oh, you start with your theory first.
Well, so I've watched like only one of the like preview things. So there are a few things that I know that
I have seen no previews.
Okay, you've seen no previews. So, I mean, I don't want to speak to anything that you don't already know about. Unless you don't really care about that.
I don't really care.
Okay.
I like pre-knowing.
Okay, so, assuming that everyone watching this reaction video has watched the full episode, they are doing a time jump to a year ahead. So Liz has been in Los Angeles. Alex has been out of town, like with Forrest. I'm not sure if the whole time. But my question is, how does that work with this Mr. Jones character, who they find, who Max and Michael and Isabel find, like, in that cave at the very end? So I'm thinking maybe they start with the continuation of that scene, and, like, what? Like, re-cage him, and then it's a year later, and they're going about their lives? Like, I don't understand. What are your thoughts knowing that much? Because, like, the preview sets it up like they've been living their lives, like, as if Mr. Jones isn't a huge problem. So, that's what I'm most curious about.
We don't know what the episode is going to look like. So, I mean, even from a preview, you don't know.
No.
So, I wonder if the new guy, what do you say, Mr. Jones?
Yeah, the guy who looks just like Max.
If
I'm calling him Mr. Jones. We don't know what his actual name is.
We're just calling him Mr.
So we're calling him Mr. Jones. What are your thoughts?
Well, we'll see what happens if he's incorporated into, I don't know how, I don't get it.
Right.
You know, there's...
I think that they would have to...
Twins?
Okay, is that your theory? Because I have a theory on who he is. And, like, in relation to Max.
That's the only thing
so
I'm thinking
what
right
is...
now.
You're thinking twins. Okay, but how does that work? Because Max was a child.
He was not in an egg. I mean,
no, I mean, I don't know how those work. If they're like, I don't know how space travel works for them. If it's
right,
like,
they grew to their age.
Because so it does say that Nora and Louise, the Michael's mom and Isabel's mom, wanted to protect all three kids. And that Mr. Jones was like a stowaway who was not supposed to be on the ship and who crashed the ship onto Earth. We don't know why. We don't know if he meant to crash on Earth specifically or just as they're flying through space, he wants to crash it. They happen to, whatever. However that worked.
It's going to be
But he looks just like Max.
Season.
It is. My theory, partly influenced by having watched the original series, is that Mr. Jones was some sort of leader on their planet. And as we can tell, he's not a very nice man. So they were like, we don't want to continue with this because we know they're having some sort of war on their planet. Which is at least part of the reason they left. Assuming that what we've been told is true. So my theory is that at some point Kid Max is basically a clone of Mr. Jones. They're like, okay, we're just going to start over. We're going to start again. We're going to clone him. Raise him to be a good person so that he can eventually be a good leader for their planet. That's my theory. It's a bit involved. But that's what I think.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Still can't be discounted.
Okay.
I wouldn't discount it.
Right. Honestly, at this point, it could be almost anything. So, yeah, the big question is then how he fits into season 3. Like, where is he? As they are living their lives a year later.
What we're going to see right away
I would assume that they would deal with him first.
Jump ahead a year.
That it doesn't start, the first scene doesn't say at the bottom, 1 year later. I think it'll start right where it left off. They'll do something immediately with Mr. Jones, and then I think it's a year later.
Right.
But they capture him again successfully for a full year? Like, what is he doing? Where do they have him?
Yeah,
Assuming that they did recapture him. Like, did they? Because I don't think.
You know, like a second Max
is he
can't
just
be
is he
walking around?
Well,
town.
unless maybe he. Well, true. Although they've let Rosa walk around, so. But although she's going back to rehab,
unless he's a shapeshifter,
which, based on the original series, might be the case.
Yeah,
that could be the case.
They may know it. The three of them may know.
Like,
he's
just by
shapeshifter.
seeing him, they'll like remember some part of their life from before. Because okay, we'll.
Well, you're right, because they're children, so they don't remember much.
And that's the other thing that I don't think the original series ever fully answered, because in the original series they are, I guess, adults on their home planet, and then somehow end up as children in the pods. Either I don't remember it or it wasn't explained. It seems like because we saw Max as a child, like
grow up.
No, but I'm saying like there was a scene like with Louise where she's like, you know, chops his chain and like frees him. Like, he was a child pre-crash, and then was put, you know, in the pods, and then, you know, came out as a child, you know.
Yeah, but why was he being changed?
But my point in saying that is that Max, Michael, and Isabel were children on their home planet at the time that they left it.
Okay.
I think. Which is why I don't think the explanation for their home planet will be the same as it was in the original series. And I would want them to do something different anyway, as it's a different show, and like they've already sort of deviated from the original plot line with what happened previously in the original series. Let's find out. I'm so excited. Alright, Mr. Jones, here we go. Oh my god! Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Well, we can keep this cordial. But say, why are we the same? Why don't I show you?
Oh! Whoa! What? Oh, Michael.
He told me that he's the savior, and I'm the clone.
Mom! Mom!
Wow.
But why? Oh, he's fucking like, I'm a genius!
He's lying.
Or I was correct.
He's lying.
But you can't outrun your history when you're standing still.
Wait, but what happened to him? What did they do? Oh my god, I'm dying.
Have left on this.
Thankfully, Generex has graciously taken pity on me and my charming personality. And, I think you should do the same.
No, that's okay.
Have a drink with me tonight.
We have some. See, what you two rookies need is to work on your mind control defense if you want to take on Jones unscathed. Remember, there's no lie in the mindscape.
Yeah, what's the plan for Jones, if you could elaborate on that?
Are you still dating that bartender chick from Planet 7?
I'll tell you 6 positions we've tried, and you can tell me which one I'm making up.
All right, that's gonna need more tequila.
He seems fun.
Are you sure this isn't misplaced nerves about Alex coming home? Because in last night's mindscape, you were sending out some pretty intense, I think it's our time vibes.
I think so too.
After 8 tequilas?
Whoa! Whoa!
Injecting
Whoa!
it now?
Whoa! 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 There's no way they know about that.
Hey, would you mind staying sober and giving me a ride home? My truck is in the shop.
I'm feeling something between them.
Pretty please.
I'm feeling something between Maria and Gregory. Kyle!
Those are completely lost.
What are you doing there?
Like days? Is your medical convention over?
It's okay. But I do have time for a drink before I head to LAX.
And maybe a heads up about what's going on.
Can I interest you? Did your feisty Latina reina give you the nickel tour of LA?
Steph took me to Alvarado's.
And then broke up with you?
I think she hoped that you would soften the blow of the breakup.
Ah! What's happening? In my head. Everything. I know everything. I knew it. I didn't want her to stick around.
Why are you defending Max right now? You gotta be Team Liz. Team Liz.
As the founding member of Team
Oh,
Liz,
yay!
you seem unhappy.
I just got back. It's been a whole year. So you got any moves with this baby?
I was not expecting the two of them, but I think they're kind of sweet. Please be careful, though. Oh, here we go.
I saw this coffin and I think someone's gonna die.
How much does he know about what's going on with her? Alex? Is it Alex? I think it's Alex. Oh, he's fixing his hair. Hi.
Hey, Maze. Hey,
Oh, they weren't together.
I didn't expect you to meet me.
How long?
Wasn't exactly at war.
How long?
There's something I need to talk to you about.
You're
It's
breaking.
kinda urgent.
You're breaking up. He's not. He's not.
Men have needs, you know. And we've kind of been off at war, so.
He's not breaking up with him now. No. Oh, my baby. Oh my God, Mom. So what's going on with Alex and Forrest?
Look, I did come to meet you today to talk, but we got caught up. But it is important. Have you ever heard of Deep Sky?
Yes.
Look, guys like me get recruited in the Deep Sky all the time, Alex.
Next time, leave with Babe. I'm a cold-blooded mercenary.
I'm not a mercenary, okay? I'm an archivist.
And to think, I was going to tell you I wanted to be exclusive.
I didn't have a choice.
So they haven't been until this point.
At Deep Sky, they're gonna try to recruit you, Alex.
You think I would go AWOL?
That little chamber behind Mount Rushmore.
Aliens?
I only have A-level clearance. You're in time for E. If you go deep, you'd be cut off from everyone.
Okay, so no.
And I don't want to lose you to them.
So what is his goal
I'm leaving
here?
Roswell tonight on my book tour. 10 p.m. bus.
Okay, bye.
I really hope you come with me.
Forrest! Okay, hold on. I am disappointed. Okay. What did you think was going to happen with Forrest? Did you expect to see him again?
I have no idea.
Okay. I thought, oh, knowing that there was a time jump, they've been together a year, and like, Forrest is great, but he's not Michael, and at some point, Alex is gonna, want to be with Michael. But this? Forrest as, like, I don't know if he's a bad guy, but he was supposed to be the sweet boyfriend.
Recruit him into a deeper...
Which would make them
not be together.
Anyway. And it seems like, so they have not really been together the way that I thought they were.
But he wants
like they've spent significant amount of times apart.
Right.
The only thing I'm afraid of is that Alex is going to want information that would help Max and Michael and Isabel. Because that's a motivation that he would have. But I do not want him to do this. This is not what I'll give them credit for an unexpected development with Forrest. He was so sweet. He was so sweet last season, and now it's not what I expected. I'm not. Oh, okay. Continue.
My patent was leaked.
How?
Hey,
She
here's
did.
your shock.
Liz. Did she get fired?
What did you do, Roswell?
Okay, I don't like the Roswell nickname. I don't like it. So, okay, next question. How does Liz get back to Roswell? Does she get fired for this? I assume that's a fireable offense if they find out it's her. Also, so part of the deal with Generex was that, or part of the appeal of Generex is that they were going to sponsor her father's citizenship. So, where is that at?
Let's just say for like one moment that it's me. And then what?
maybe you should have thought of that, but okay.
Well, then go with the logical explanation.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Ah! Just keep walking. Where's her car parked?
And if you don't come clean, I think Iz should get inside his head, play another round of truth to get to the heart of the matter.
Heart.
The heart is what's the matter?
Oh my god.
I'm dying.
Liz could be helpful. One, does Liz get fired? And two,
Yes.
okay, does she then...
Come back.
Well,
yes.
does she come back before or after she finds out about Max's heart condition?
Oh, before.
Okay. That's probably better, because then it's not like she's coming... I mean, of course she would come back for
She's
him.
mad at him. She's
well,
still mad.
well, he hasn't reached out to her in a year.
And neither is she.
True. Yeah, I don't know how they resolve their very real, very big issue between them. So how do they do this Max's dying storyline differently than last year? I mean, my guess is that Liz is gonna, like, use her science and fix it, but that's kind of what happened last time. Like, I just want it to be different than last season's plotline.
You know, it was the craziest thing. My girlfriend dumped me. I'm broker than I've ever been. Alex took off. There was a global pandemic, and yet I was happy because...
Just a second. Okay, so apparently it happened in this universe. It just within the year that we've skipped.
Was.
Interesting
so.
choice. Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a year
they jumped a year ahead, so okay. Interesting. Okay.
That's where they
This,
are.
Okay.
Because us three, because we were good.
Oh, you know, Alex is back. Did you come to invite me to the wedding?
Oh God.
But no. Okay, so then I'm going to jail.
I mean, we all know what's
You with
coming.
me.
What?
I think you thought that a good bottle of wine and a drive around the hills would lead to a kiss.
Welcome to the third floor. Margot Vice.
I mean, that was kind of
I know
not
she was
very
really
nice.
mad.
Well, yeah, right, but like, that's not very nice.
But there is no you to study. Worse, there's nobody from your planet to ask about how you work.
Oh God. Isabel, this is, oh God.
Thank you for caring.
For giving me this horrible idea.
It's right on that door.
His sutures are healing well. Color is back in his cheeks and fingertips. His hands feel like his hands again.
Told
Max,
you.
I know you can't hear me. Or maybe it's different for you.
Ah!
I'll be holding your hand.
Come on, man.
All this with Max.
So she's working at the crash town now? Oh, please don't be Wyatt. Oh my God. Is this real?
Roswell Teco doesn't exist. And if it takes a second autopsy to confirm it, so be it. My sister never should have been near you. You drunk.
Wow. I mean, you don't need it though. Oh my God. Oh, that's the beach call. Okay, so they have to deal with Wyatt. What do they do with him? Because even if he doesn't remember this time, like, does he just not remember forever? Like, what this is, you have to deal with this. I don't know how they didn't think that something like this would happen. Although I am glad that they're like, there's a consequence to having her just out and about. Even though I hate what's happening here. Oh, that's cute.
Never pegged you as a broom bouquet.
Oh, the singer from...
What did you have me pegged as?
I feel like she's not just some regular woman, though. She can't
Why
be.
did she stop it?
Because he's cute! But, or she's investigating him. Nefariously. Forrest, okay. Oh, yes, guess who's not there to say goodbye?
Stay where you are.
Does Forrest get off of the bus? What? Oh, okay, I
Not get on that bus.
don't think he is. What, so is this it?
Yeah.
Is this ending so much faster than I thought it would? Okay, bye! Bye!
Did he get off?
No. Forrest is leaving. So, okay, nice knowing you, boyfriend, goodbye.
No breakfast, no going fishing with my daddy after church with my mom. I get it.
Well, I hope he doesn't have a heart attack. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, it's good. She's got another vision, and it's not Max in the coffin, correct?
Sorry, we're closed.
Oh my god. What the hell is this? Oh, see?
Of course, I don't think that. This is like Noah all over again. We are covering up a murder.
Interesting. Okay, so that's the cage. Alright.
Howdy, partner.
Previously on our
There's no preview.
No.
That's strange. I've never not seen a preview. I wasn't sure if I wanted to watch it, but that's weird that there's not one. Okay. Anyway.
Action-packed.
Yes, there was so much that happened in this one. Okay. So let's work backwards. Okay, so they've got Mr. Jones and a cage. Do you think the cage works?
That's 50-50.
I think that Mr. Jones is
He's
gonna
gonna
let them
be
think it works. I think it
Smarter
works
than-
enough, but I think that he will be able to break out of it.
I think he's like
He's so
beyond-
much more advanced than they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Michael made a very good cage, but there's no way that it works perfectly.
He had a smirk on his face.
He's very tricksy. Okay, so we know it's not Max who dies. It's also not someone that the others are
It was a
super
white
upset
coffin.
about. But like Alex was not super upset about who was dead. He was more upset about the circumstances of their death. So I don't think it's not one of the main people.
Well, they said we're covering up another murder.
Maybe Mr. Jones kills someone. That seems likely.
The-
And maybe
what's
it's the singer from the bar.
The head covering aliens that attack Maria.
Because it does not seem like that was just a random robbery. Like, it definitely could have been to prompt her vision. It definitely could have been. Or there's some whatever going
They
on.
beat her up. What did they? I mean, did they take something?
It's
Money?
possible that they just came to rob the bar.
Right, it's possible.
And then
because
she
they did
had
not kill her.
No.
She is still alive, and she doesn't know who's in the coffin. So.
but we know
because
it's not Max. But
we
I'm
know
thinking,
it's not,
well, right, but
and she knows.
now either she keeps having visions and we one by one eliminate who it's not, which I guess is possible.
Or somebody really dies.
Well, no, I think someone does die. I'm just saying, I'm thinking it's a side character, which might be the singer from the bar.
Liz,
Especially with Alex's
or is
reaction,
she
because Alex was
upset
not.
because of the person that's dead.
I think they're more upset with like who killed. So okay, there was a murder. It's not like someone just happened to die. They were killed, and the group knows who did it because they are
But
covering it up.
I think Isabel is upset, and I think
Yeah.
she is upset because of the person that's dead. Even though they're
Well,
covering it up,
Well, I hope it's
I
not her
think-
girlfriend.
I think she
I don't
is
think it would be.
upset at the death. The other two
Well, they're upset, but
yeah, but
not the way
she
that they would be
looked-
if it was
to
one of the
me-
main people.
To me, she looked upset as if it were
I
somebody she knew.
it's if it's
That just
her girlfriend, who
why
I mean,
would
they
that be,
mentioned.
though?
Well, I swear to God, I would be so mad if they God, my guess is that it's the person we just met, the singer who Max was like hooking up with.
And he accidentally kills her?
Either he does it, or I think it's Mr. Jones. I think Mr. Jones, maybe Isabel feels guilty because he broke out.
Max, because he was connected.
Possible. That's also possible. But I think Mr. Jones is responsible for the murder. I think he somehow either is controlling Max, or he somehow breaks out of the cage that Isabel agreed to put him into, so Isabel feels guilty for taking him out of the pod, thereby enabling him to kill someone. That's my guess. It seems like at some point he'll be free. That seems just like something that will happen at some point. And I think that they do learn more about their life before this season. I think that's part of...
I don't trust him with any answer he gives. It's whether, can you tell me more about
what
my
reason
past?
what
He's
reason
still
does he
alive.
have to... I mean, I think what he said at the beginning was true, but
That
I
he's
don't
his
know...
father?
No, that Max is a clone of Mr. Jones.
Well,
I
that's
think
the
that's
second thing
true.
that he said.
I know, but I think that's true. But I think why they cloned him, why he was
We
cloned,
don't know that.
he might not be truthful about. But I think it is true that Max is a clone of Mr. Jones. Because we saw child Max chained up in that
Yeah.
room.
We don't know.
Louise-
We don't know who's holding him.
No, we don't know if Mr. Jones had him and then Louise comes in to save him, or if for some reason Louise felt he was safer chained, and then Mr. Jones, we have discovered, is on our ship, is coming for him. I need to free
what?
Max.
They did say that your mothers didn't tell you about me.
I assume he has.
I sure hope it's
Some-
not Rosa.
But I was like worried that Wyatt was gonna shoot her.
Well, she's giving him a shot, so he's
Yeah,
just got
so
him
he's
knocked
out, but now she has to tell everyone, guys, this just happened, please come help me.
yeah,
I mean, I hope she doesn't
'Cause
try and deal with it on her own.
no,
but
she should not.
I don't think that she would.
She doesn't know how to.
Well, right. I mean, she is still. I mean, she's like 20 at this point. Yeah, she would. I would hope that she would tell them what happened, because that's obviously
Yeah,
a
I
big
need
threat
help.
to her safety. Okay, now let's talk about Michael and Alex and Forrest. I was thinking that Alex and Forrest would be together for a few episodes, and then like by mid-season either they would be broken up, or like that would be the point where Michael and Alex are back together. Like I think we see him again though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well-
But it seemed like they definitely broke up.
Well, he went away.
Well,
and
but he
signed
was
up with that group.
No, he was going on like his book tour or whatever he had mentioned. Like he's leaving town for a while, but has been secretly working for
Yeah, the
Big Sky,
organization.
whatever it's called. So for this past year then, Alex and Forrest have been like together when they're both in town at the same time, but like Alex, it seems, has been gone like for military work, like not deployed obviously, but like,
Right.
Forrest has been doing his thing and they've been like together when they're both in town. But so, which I was not expecting. I was expecting a more serious relationship.
Which they did not have.
But as apparently not. So that was a surprise. Huge surprise that Forrest is involved with that organization. And see, like exactly how I thought that would
People
be the
get
one
drawn
thing.
into that.
Well, exactly, which I think
Yeah.
Alex understands. But the draw for him of finding information that would be helpful to
It
Michael,
was,
and then it
it's
was,
not-
but I want, and I'm glad he talked to Kyle about it. I'm glad that those two are becoming like good friends. I still feel like it is possible that Alex will move forward with this, though.
Well, he's
But
gonna
I
do
hope he.
something.
But I hope he talks to Michael about it. I mean, Michael is obviously going to say, "Please do not do that. Absolutely not." I hope that Liz comes back sooner rather than later. I'm going to assume that what they did worked, so that Liz is not going to get caught. I'm going to assume that for now.
Well, they're going to call her to say, you need to
With
come
Rosa.
fix-
And Max, it seems like they're going to try and use Mr. Jones,
Mr.
like to have
Jones is
Kyle
gonna-
study him, or
Right.
like
If he stays in his
if he's
cage.
cooperative, like he's going to like what, offer a blood sample just because? Like
Uh-huh.
why? It's possible that Mr. Jones would want to save Max, but
Maybe.
I don't really trust that. But that is a possibility that Max, and only Max, he would be interested in protecting. To a certain extent, at least.
I liked Izzy's hair.
I did too! And I want to see more of what she's been doing for the past year. Because, like, they sort of mentioned some stuff
She's
in
been
passing,
getting
but...
stronger.
Yes, I did enjoy that. I did enjoy
So-
that all three of their powers do seem to be increasing.
Yeah.
Do you think Rosa tells Liz about what happened at the cafe with Wyatt? I think she should. I mean, it would kind of almost force Liz to come home, but not necessarily.
Maybe just to see her sister.
Right, she could visit, like, to come back, not intending to stay, but to visit, just to check in on her, and then,
Right.
hey, by the way, Max is dying. There's Mr. Jones. Have Max, Michael, and Isabel told anyone else about Mr. Jones? I don't think so, because it seemed Kyle did not know.
I
don't think they have.
No.
How mad is everyone else? How mad are the humans going to be that they didn't tell them about Mr. Jones? I don't know. I don't think mad is the word, but I think if they wait too long, though, it'll be like it's more dangerous for them.
This
Well,
demon into our town.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I would hope that they would wait before it becomes more dangerous for them not to know.
Be
They're covering
something-
up someone, and there's a reason for them to cover it up.
Right. So
Now, a secret
that
alien murderer
makes it-
is a good thing. You'd want to keep that secret.
Right.
So looking quite far ahead, how does this Mr. Jones thing resolve? Like, where does this end with Mr. Jones?
Well, we don't even know what he's there for.
I know, like, we're looking way far ahead, but like, end of the season. Does Mr. Jones continue on into next season?
I'm gonna hope no.
I would also hope no. That might be asking a lot. But I would assume then, if it was the case that Mr. Jones does not continue into the next season, we meet someone else maybe at the end of this season, also from their home planet, who would then be sticking around for next season.
Somebody nice.
I would hope it's someone nice too. They deserve someone nice. You know what? I want more flashbacks from like 1947-48, or maybe of Alex's great uncle trip, of like what happens to him.
No, I'm talking about the guy
Who are
at
you
the
thinking
gas
of?
station.
Oh, Mr. Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him
was-
again too. You know what? They need to absolutely talk to him because he never met. Well,
He knew.
He knew
everything.
Mr. Jones.
He knew everything.
because he would. Well, okay. Here's the other
He
question.
might know Mr. Jones.
So Mr. Jones then was only around for a year, like had an entire farm. How did that happen?
No,
Unless he is a shapeshifter like you thought. Alien Mr. Jones was impersonating Farmer Mr. Jones. And then
Is that his name?
Mr. Jones is the name of the guy who had like the neighboring farm to them in the 1940s.
Oh no.
And
Well.
so
But
that
the
guy then
that-
is like
that
Alien
owns
Max.
The car
Sanders.
dealership.
Sanders.
Okay, him.
Yeah. Who was the little boy, the like 10-year-old boy in
Yeah.
1947. They definitely need to talk to him because he
Yeah.
could definitely, possibly give them some information about Mr. Jones.
Yeah. He would
That's
be
a
the
very
one-
good point.
He would be the one to go to.
Okay. All right. So excited for next week. So much happened. I can't wait for more.